Hey everyone, this is the GMKtec AI Mini PC and it's the best mini desktop I've ever tested, full stop. But let me explain why. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been running this thing for 2 solid weeks as my main workstation and my living room gaming rig, and I'm genuinely surprised by how much it can do without taking up any real desk space. The footprint is basically the size of a thick paperback, so it sits behind my monitor like it's not even there. I've got a 4K monitor on top, a 1440p side screen, and a 1080p capture card all hooked up at once, and everything stays smooth. That triple 4K support isn't just marketing, it works. Inside you get Intel's new Core Ultra 7256V, which is a proper 8-core, 8-thread chip with a 4.8 GHz turbo. In real terms, that means compiling a React app in under 30 seconds, running a Blender render while I stream on Twitch, and still having enough headroom to run a couple of Docker containers without breaking a sweat. The integrated ARC 140V graphics aren't going to replace a RTX 4090, but they absolutely handle Rocket League, CS2, and even Elden Ring at 1440p on medium settings. If you're mostly gaming on a TV or a 1440p monitor, you won't feel cheated. One thing that caught me off guard was the memory setup. It's 16GB of LPDDR5X on the same package as the CPU, so there's no user-upgradable RAM, but the bandwidth is so high that benchmarks show it beating standard DDR5 in latency-sensitive tasks. I've been editing 4K H.265 footage in Premiere Pro with no dropped frames, and the timeline scrubbing feels like working on a workstation, not a mini PC. Storage is a 1TB PCIe 4.0 NVMe that's fast enough to saturate the 5GB port if you're copying files across your network. I copied a 50GB game library from my NAS to the mini PC in under 2 minutes. That's the kind of throughput you usually only see on desktop towers. Speaking of networking, the 5GB LAN is a game changer if you've got a compatible router. I streamed a 4K Blu-ray remux from my server to the mini PC over SMB and the buffer never dipped below 95%. No stutter, no rebuffering, just pure local gigabit plus performance. Connectivity is another highlight. You get dual USB 4 ports that give you 40 gigabits per second each, so you can daisy chain a 6K monitor and still have bandwidth left for an external SSD or a capture card. There's also a front USB-C with DisplayPort Alt mode, 2 rear USB-A ports, HDMI 2.1, 3.5mm audio, and a 2.5 GBE port for good measure. I plugged in a USB-C hub with power delivery and ran 2 4K monitors plus a keyboard, mouse, and external drive without needing a single dongle. Thermals are impressively quiet. The whole chassis is just 7.2 by 3.5 by 1.3 inches, so there's not a lot of room for a big heatsink, but the fan barely spins under normal workloads. I ran Cinebench R23 for 10 minutes straight and the surface temp only hit 52 degrees Celsius. That's cool enough to keep on your desk without it sounding like a jet engine. Now, it's not perfect. The lack of upgradable RAM and storage might bother some people, and the ARC 140V still isn't at the level of a dedicated GPU for high-end gaming. Also, the power brick is a bit chunky, so if you're trying to tuck this thing into a tiny entertainment center, you might need to factor that in. All things considered, though, this mini PC punches well above its weight. It's fast enough for serious productivity, surprisingly capable for casual gaming, and small enough to disappear when you're not using it. If you've been on the fence about switching to a mini desktop, this is the one to get. Link is below, grab one if it fits your needs and let me know what you think in the comments.